Today we have Luxio's newest collection. It is for their fall 2025 collection. It is the Femininity collection. It features 6 different shades. We're going to go through them all and then we're going to do a little bit of a tutorial at the end of the video as well. The deepest red in the collection is called Bordeaux, and this is a really nice red color. It doesn't have any shimmers or anything to it. It is just a solid, deeper red, and the application of the Luxio reds are just flawless. They go on so nicely. Now, if you love accents shine on, you're really going to love their latest top coat. It is the Diamond Shine On, and it's just got a whole bunch of really good improved benefits. It's the one that I'm going to be using throughout this video as well, so you'll get a really good look at like just how shiny it is and such. Here is the color all top coated. It is a beautiful dark red. So there's another red in the collection, and this one is a little bit more of a blue toned, like brighter red color. And like I said before, the accents reds just go on so nice. I find them so easy to apply, and this shade is perfect for both fall and winter as well coming up. So the next one in the collection is this really nice like rosy type of color. I personally love these shades, and especially for fall time. This one leans a little bit more brown than say like rosy, but I think it's going to be an excellent addition to like my fall color lineup. This is the next one in the collection. This one's called Nonchalant, and I find it to be actually very similar to the last one. However, it's got a sheer tone to it. So if you want this to be more opaque, you're going to have to do probably about 3 coats for it. This is done with 2 coats, and it's still a really nice application, and I do like this color. So the last 2 in the collection are probably my favorites in the collection. I love translucent pinks and translucent like creamy colors. So the first one up here is a translucent pink. I think it's literally just the perfect light pink for like a French base or for doing nail art. And then kind of on the same side here we have the next color, which this one is a little bit more of like a creamy color, like a vanilla shade. Now I like these type of shades because they make the nails look more like a gel nail than say just like a painted on color, and I personally just love that effect for the background of nail art or even just on its own. So this is the whole collection here, some really nice shades, and actually I think some really good staples for your collection if you don't really have like these type of sheer pinks or these type of reds. It's like an all-in-one type of collection. Comment below, let me know what you think of it. We are going to do a tutorial in this video as well. I came up with this really fun fall look, and we're going to use some like 3D art powders and some different fall tones in combination with this collection as well. So we're going to start off with that beautiful pink, and I'm going to do 2 nails on each of the hand as my background colors. So I'm going to do 2 coats only of this. I find if you're going to go and do like a French tip on top or some art on top of it, 2 coats works really good. You're going to see at the end that we use this one is like for a full set as well, and for that one, because it's just going to be covering the whole nail, I did go in and do 3 coats, but we'll talk about that more as the video goes on. Now I did want the reds of this collection to really stand out, so I'm going to do them on the thumbnail as well as the pinky nail. So this one here is the Bordeaux color, and I have that on the thumbnail for one hand, and then on the other hand we're going to do like the opposite red on it. So I love doing that when I'm creating different nail art because it just adds a little twist to the nail designs. Usually we see nails that are all like cohesive and the exact same, and you guys know that that's not really my vibe. So on the pinky nail here, we are going to do the brighter red color. And then lastly, on the middle nail, I'm going to go in with a really nice vanilla shade. I knew that I wanted to do some artwork on top of this nail, so I thought it would be perfect as the background for the design that we're going to do. And this is what the background colors look like, just really stunning colors. This is the design that we are going to do. Initially, I was planning on just featuring the colors of this collection, but I had to show you guys some of these other colors that Luxio has. The first one there, Patina, and then we have Agave, which is this beautiful green, just screams fall. And this is literally, it's called Swank, the perfect mustard yellow color. So I thought that instead of just using the reds and the muted tones of that collection, we would use some of these in combination with it to give it more of a fall look. So the first color that we're taking here is called Swank, and I have a few like mustard yellows in my collection. I've got a lot that lean a little bit more brown, a little bit more orange. This one is literally the perfect mustard yellow, and I know yellow has been really popular for nail colors this year, so I definitely wanted to feature it. So I am just going to go in and do a French nail. I love doing my Frenches like way more exaggerated, especially on the press-ons that I create for my clients. So I go in and I just kind of outline it with this long striper brush, and then I'm going to go in and fill in the color. The nice thing about the Luxio gel polishes is that because they are a little bit more jelly, a little bit more runny, they really just kind of like effortlessly almost like melt into itself when I'm outlining and doing art versus some of the other gel polishes that I feature on my channel before that are more of a paint on. Again, I think it just gives a really nice look, especially to the French nail design. We are going to take this color called Gamble. It was released last year from Luxio, and it's a deep, like rich green color, literally the perfect fall green. And I'm going to do a French nail down on the ring finger for this one. And again, I'm just outlining with the color, and then I'm going to go in and fill it in. Sometimes I like to fill it in with a brush that comes in the bottle, and sometimes I'll use my striper brush. It just kind of depends on like the consistency and how the gel polish is laying. So for this one, I found it to be a little bit easier just to pull right from the brush of the bottle. And Accents, when they released their like regular season collections, they come out with the little mini bottles of the Luxio gel polishes, and they're cheaper, they're more affordable for you if you want to just like kind of try the colors in the collection. And that's what this one is. So the brush actually works really good for outlining the French nails that I was doing. So the colors that I showed you previously, as well as some of the different ones from this collection, I'm just going to put on my little palette here, and we're going to create like a floral kind of abstract nail design on the middle finger. So I'm just starting with the red colors, and I'm taking the art brush number 4 from Accents. I've talked about the Accents brushes multiple times on my channels. They've been featured in favorites videos. I very much enjoy using them. This is probably one of my go-to for doing different type of nail art like this, where I want the color to be a little bit more opaque. I'm doing some like bigger lines or some bigger kind of blobs on the nail to create different artwork. I find this brush holds the polish really well and is easy to work with. So it's also a really good brush for doing small polka dots, which we're going to see here, where I'm just randomly putting different polka dots down in the front. This is going to create like a leaf design later on. And then I'm going to take the agave color, and I'm going to go down and create some leaf shapes kind of surrounding those florals. I should also note that I am curing in between each of these colors. That way the colors aren't going to bleed together or anything. So right here, I want to create a shape that looks a little bit more like a larger leaf. So I'm using that patina color, which is actually the one that I have on my nails in this video too. It's just literally the perfect color, like a caramel shade for fall time. And I absolutely love wearing those type of tones this type of year. But it works fantastic for like a leaf color as well. I'm taking some of that Mademoiselle color, and this is that rosy type of shade. And I'm just filling in some of the like white space of this design. I wanted the florals to kind of sit more on like the French tip. I didn't want to cover the entire nail. But the nice thing about something like this is you can just kind of create different random shapes and turn them into flowers or leaves just by adding some accents to it. So we're going to go in and add some black accents soon, and that's really going to make this design come together. But it's a simple design that works really well with these gel polishes to do, because the colors will pair nicely with all the rest of the artwork that I'm doing. And I find it just gives a really cool effect working with these type of shades. After those have cured, I'm just going to go in with some black gel polish here and just create some lines in the center of the leaf nails, just really, really fine lines. They don't have to be perfect, and they can kind of be like a little off center. It is really fun kind of working with these type of patterns because you can kind of do anything in the center and it's just going to tie it together. So for the leaf shapes, I just wanted to do lines down and then like some lines kind of bleeding off of it as well. And then in the shapes that look more like a flower, I'm just going to go back to that Art 4 brush, and we're just going to draw some little dots in the center of the florals as well. This is going to make it look more like florals and less like leaves. I'm going to take some of the Accents Gel Play, the rose gold leaf. I absolutely love this color. It's like the perfect rose gold for different accents for your art. And I'm just going to go in and fill in some of that white space again for this nail, but just keeping it on the tip. This is going to do two things. It's going to add a little bit of sparkle, which is something that I just love to sneak in any of my nail designs, but it's also going to tie in because we're going to use the same rose gold color to create some lines underneath the French nails that we did as well. It's pretty rare that I will do a French nail and not go in and do a glitter line underneath. I didn't used to always do these, but when I used to work on my clients all the time, this is something that I just love doing, and I've since brought it back to my press-ons as well because I think it just looks really cool to tie in some sparkles with your design, and I personally just love the look. I know this is like dating me a little bit as far as this look being popular when I first started back in like 2009, adding like a glitter French, but I really just don't care because I think it is just stunning, and it's a fun way to use the different like leaf gels or glitter gels that you have in your collection as well. So the accents, rose gold, and actually all their leaf gels, I find when I use them for a French that I have to go in and clean them up a little bit because I find that they don't give like a perfect line. They kind of look a little jaggedy, which is fine, but I do find that out of all of the different leaf gels and stuff that I use, this one I have to go in and clean up a little bit more than say some of the others in my collection. However, this rose gold color is literally the perfect rose gold, and it works so good for fall tones. A product that you have seen a few times on my channel is the Accents Art Powder. It is a powder that you can combine with any of your gel polish colors that you have in your collection, and it's gonna make them a little bit more of like a 3D consistency, a 3D kind of texture. You just wanna mix them together until you get the texture that you're comfortable with. I like to work with a texture that is a little bit more on the thicker side. So after I've mixed up my color, I'm just gonna go in and top coat that red because I wanna work on top of a top coated nail when I'm doing 3D. I don't want to have to go back in and add my top coat around my 3D because it's just going to like make it a little bit shiny and kind of weird. So while I'm at it, I'm just putting some top coat on the rest of the nail designs here as well. And I find when you're doing like abstract florally type of nail art that once you get the top coat on, it just really makes the floral design come together. And this top coat is really nice to work with. Like, it is just seamless and it's so shiny as well. I've been wearing it on my nails and I just love the shine with it. So back to the 3D, we're going to pick up the little petal that we created here. This brush that I'm using is an ombre brush, and it is the perfect size head for creating different 3D kind of structures on the nail. I do have my brush like dipped in some cleanser as well. You do kind of want to work with like a wetter brush when you are working with the powder gel here, or the powder mixed with the gel. And after I get my like general leaf shape, I'm just going to tuck the bristles of the leaf kind of like underneath and raise them up a little bit. And this is going to make them look a little bit more jagged and like a little bit more like of a realistic leaf. I find this gives like kind of a cool effect to do, and sometimes I will go in and I'll like poke the sides with my brush too, or add some texture on top of the product as well. After I have it the way that I want it, I'm going to take this like mixing tool that I have, and I'm going to go in and create some lines to make it look more like a leaf. The best part about working with the art powder though is that after you have your design, you cure it in the light and you don't have to wait for it to dry, but you also don't have to like worry about it drying too quickly on you. You can just cure it whenever you're comfortable with how your design looks. Now I am going to take some of that really pretty green color and mix it in with some of this art powder as well, because we're going to create another leaf on the nail. So just mix until you are happy with the consistency, and you can definitely work with like a consistency that is like a little bit like more runny or a little bit less. Just kind of play around with it until you get one that you like. But the nice thing is you can just add a little bit more powder if it is too runny and hard for you to work with, which is what I ended up doing here as well. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of it on my brush and again just kind of plop it down wherever I wanted. So the design that I did like off camera on the other thumbnail, I kind of created like 3 different leaves in a cluster and then added some crystals. But as I was designing this one, I decided that it would look really cool to have the leaves just kind of like cascading down the nails. So that's what I'm doing here. I just kind of placed one of the leaves kind of off center of that other one, and I'm going to pat it down until I get the consistency that I want and the look of it. However, I realized that I had way too much product on here, so I ended up taking some of it off because I didn't want the leaf to be like giant like this. So I'm just going to take that brush, and if I'm noticing that it is a little hard to work with, or if the product is getting a little bit too dry and it's kind of like flaking off, then I'm just going to dip my brush back into some cleanser or some alcohol and add that back to the product, and that's going to make the consistency more wet, and I find it's a little bit easier to manipulate the leaf or whatever shape it is that you're making when your brush has more wetness to it. So again, I'm just taking the bristles of my brush and I'm just like gently lifting up the petals of this leaf, and that's going to make it look a little bit more realistic, give it some more texture to it as well. And then when I have the leaf looking exactly how I like it, that's when I'm going to go in and take, you just want a flat surface. You can use a cuticle pusher, that works really well for it too. I've just got this mixing tool, it is from Accents as well, and I find it just adds like a really nice look to it if you just go in with like a long line down the leaf and then just kind of turn it on its side and add some more like leaf lines to it. If you're not happy with how it's coming together, you can also go back in after you've done that with your brush and just kind of like fan it all out a little bit more too. Just kind of play around with it until you get the look that you're after. So I did decide to take some of that Gamble color and do the same thing by mixing it in with some of that art powder, and we're going to go in and create another leaf on this nail, and we're going to make it kind of look like it is going towards the free edge of this nail as well. Now my whole plan when I was creating these leaves is to go in and add some crystals kind of surrounding it after. So I was kind of keeping in mind like where I was putting the leaves while I was creating it with that as my intention. I did do that kind of like off camera, and I wasn't really liking how it was looking. And even at this point here, I was kind of like second guessing if I wanted to add some crystals to it or not. So I'm really glad that I ended up just leaving it with the leaves because I think it looks really neat like that, just kind of cascading down the nail. But we're doing the exact same thing. We're going in and lifting up the edges of the leaf, and then when I'm happy with how that looks, I'm taking this mixer tool and I'm going in and creating some more lines to make it look more like a realistic leaf here. I'm going to take some of the Bling It On Rhinestone gel from Glitter Mexicana. Again, you can get this at DK Beauty too. And I'm just going to put some of this on the pinky nail just in the corner. I really struggle with just leaving nails plain. Like I like to add some sort of detail to like at least every single nail in the designs that I'm doing. So that's why if I don't know what to do or I just want to add a little bit of something extra, I'll go in and add some crystals, which is what I'm going to do here. I just have some crystals in like some pretty gold shades as well as some green, and then I'm going to go in with some bullion beads and just kind of fill in like in between the crystals, and this gives it like a really cool look. And then taking some of that top coat, I am going to top coat the nail and I'm just going to surround the crystals. I have cured in between this step as well. So this is what the finished design ends up looking like. So I did do on the other nails, you can see that swank and that patina color as the French tips instead. This is definitely a design that you could do on like your client sitting at your chair as well. I had made this as a press-on set for one of my press-on clients to wear for fall here, and I think it turned out really cool. Whenever my clients order nail designs from me, I do include like a simple set to kind of pair with their look. So this way they can mix and match the nail designs, because usually my nails are like, they do have quite a bit of artwork with them. So if they wanted something to kind of tone it down with, I like to include a color that can do that as well for them. So I decided for this one, I wanted my client to have a set of that really pretty sheer pink color. Like I just think everybody needs like a sheer pink set of nails like this, or to paint their nails like this at one point, because this is just such a calming color. And if you want something that's just like really simple, these type of shades are just perfect for it. So that's what I'm doing here, is just going to go in and paint one coat down for it, and then I did go in and do a second coat, and I think like the second coat would have been okay on its own, but I wanted these to be a little bit more opaque. So with a really thin third coat, it really makes them look like a nice sheer pink color. Now I did decide to add a little bit of something to this pink nail because I just couldn't leave it plain. So we're going to take some of that rose gold color, and we're just going to go with like a patting motion and that same ombre brush that we used for the nail art. We're going to go in and just kind of add like a light fade into the corners of both the thumbnail and the pinky nail. This is such a simple way to just add a little bit of sparkle to the design, but still keeping it like pretty toned down. I love kind of doing this and adding crystals on top. Actually, I think it looks really pretty when you do that. So if you guys have worked with the new Diamond Shine On top coat from Accents, I'd be curious to see what you guys think of it. I really liked like applying it. I found that like the self-leveling of it was really easy to work with. One thing that I do want to play around with it is how well it seals over top of stamping, because that is kind of like one of my tried and true ways to tell if like I love a top coat, because some top coats will just separate over stamping, and I haven't had the opportunity to do that yet. So when I do, I will definitely update you guys. But this is how the really pretty pink sheer set turned out. Just a perfect color for fall time and to pair really nicely with her fall look. But comment below, let me know what you guys think of these different colors, what sort of art you're doing for fall. I would love to hear about it. Make sure you're following me on all my social media, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.